Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and the second skill we're going to discuss is Warpath. And Warpath has a complete tree rework, and I tell you what, some of these nodes look very fun, and I can already tell there's a lot of different ways to play this. So let's go over it, and some of these very interesting mechanics that now synergize really well, and different ways to play it with Warpath. So first up, let's go bottom right. We got 𝐾𝐿VIRE, gives you your move speed. You can get this right off the bat with it, which is really nice. It's not tied behind anything else. And then we have Warrior's Fury, and this is my favorite node so far in the entire tree. For each second you continuously spin, Warpath deals more damage multiplicatively with other modifiers in a larger area, but costs more mana per second. This is very interesting. Damage per second, area per second, and mana cost per second. So every second that you are using Warpath, for every second, it can start doing 100% more damage multiplicatively in a 100% larger area. Although it will cost you 20 mana per second, more per second. So after 5 seconds, it would be costing you 100 mana per second, which is a ton, but if you really built into attunement or built into stacking a lot of mana and were able to go for 5 to 10 seconds with this, or had a way to regenerate some mana as well, you could essentially massively get a ton of damage out of Warpath in like 10-second spurts. Definitely going to want to play around with that and see how long we can keep it going and how high we can push the damage. I love this node. We've got Gore Bringer. This will give you bleed chance, bleed duration. A lot of this on the left is going to be dots. We got Earth Scorcher. Bleed chance from all sources is converted to ignite, and effects related to bleed now depend on ignite instead. We got Path of Fire, where ignite stacks in a trail each second. You'll leave behind a burning trail behind you that'll ignite all enemies that are in it every second. If ignite has been converted to time rot with Epoch's rule, the trail is converted to void instead, so that's pretty cool. We have Path of Heavens for up to 250% global spell damage. That's a nice buff. We got Way of the Cleric, where you can get healed for up to 30 health per second, while for anybody, you and allies inside of Warpath's area. What's cool about this is it does scale healing effectiveness as well. We have Winds of Justice, where it'll cast Smite each second, up to a 75% chance that while you are Warpathing, you can cast Smite every second, which is pretty cool, which means on average, 3 out of 4 seconds we'll have a smite coming off, which is pretty cool. Then up here on the top left, we have Iron Reach. Warpath deals damage in a larger area. We have Juggernaut Stance, which gives you block chance and block effectiveness. What's cool about this, it no longer requires you to have a two-handed weapon to have these nodes, which is really cool. Then we have Rolling Steel. Warpath deals more damage. This effect is doubled if using a two-handed weapon. So instead of requiring you to use a two-handed weapon for a lot of the nodes in the bottom left before, now you have the choice to dual wield or use a two-handed weapon, and it will double the effects versus using a one-handed build. We have Cyclone of War, which gives us global melee health leech with an axe, global base critical strike chance if you're using a sword, physical penetration with mace, or fire pen with a scepter. So this is really cool. This is like weapons of choice in the rogue, but instead of being in your passive tree, it's actually in the skill tree itself. I bet this took a lot of work to put together, but I really like it. I love nodes like that, that based on your weapon type is going to give you a whole bunch of different synergies. So my second favorite node inside of this skill tree. We got Battle Master's Blade. Area with a two-handed weapon can be up to 40% larger. And then up here at the top, while spinning you gain mana every 3 seconds while wielding a two-handed weapon, up to the same 35 mana every 3 seconds that you could get before. As we go over here to the bottom right, we have Unchained, reduces the cost. You can get up to a -10 cost just right here. With Reckless Spin, you get a -6 channel cost, but it will reduce your elemental resistance by 30%. We have Molten Path, which gives you some armor shred. We have Giant Splitter. After spinning for at least 2 seconds, you do a War Slash at the end. This deals more damage multiplicatively in a larger area for each second you spent spinning up to a maximum duration. The slash damage per second spinning, 15% per point up to 5 points, so 75% more damage. Area per second spinning up to 75% per point. And it has a maximum benefit duration of 5 seconds. So that means that if you spin for 5 seconds with 5 points here, you can do up to 75 times 5, so 375% more damage with the War Slash in a 375% larger area, which is huge. That's really big. Now here's the cool thing. Since you're only really wanting to use this for the maximum duration of 5 seconds, I feel like Giant Splitter and the Warrior's Fury are going to go really well together. It'll cost all your mana to basically do it, but it seems like it'd be really cool. If you can go at least 5 seconds of continuous spinning, not only do you do really good damage leading up to the end of that 5 seconds, but right afterwards you're going to hit really hard with Giant Splitter, which doesn't cost any mana to use. Then we have Way of the Executioner, melee damage to low life. You can get up to 100% more melee damage multiplicatively against enemies that are on low life, which is below 35%. Forged Master Stance. While spinning, you summon forged weapons every 5 seconds as if you had hit an enemy with Forged Strike. Just pretty cool. I believe that uses the Forged Strike skill tree, so how you spec that will matter. And then we have Moving Forge. While spinning, you summon forged weapons more frequently. You can summon them up to 125% more frequently, which, since it was every 5 seconds, that would put you down at about 2 seconds, or just over, somewhere between 2 and 3 seconds. And then for the Void version, we have Void Spiral. Warpath deals additional melee void damage. This effect is doubled while wielding a two-handed weapon. So you can get, instead of the 1 melee void damage you got in the previous tree, you can now get 5 per point, up to 5 points. So 25 added melee void damage, and that's doubled with a two-hander. The Echo Knight, you get global increased void damage, and Warpath can echo. So to explain how this works, while spinning you deal increased void damage, and you have a chance each second to create an echo at a recent location that uses Warpath on the spot for 2 seconds. This chance is equal to twice your chance for skills to echo. You can only create a Warpath echo if you have been spinning for at least 2 seconds and have traveled at least 4 meters in the past 2 seconds. And 4 meters is basically the distance from the training dummy to the outside of the circle. I believe that's actually 5 meters, but it's roughly that distance. Then we have Apocalypse Roll. This is where we get the Time Rot chance, and we also turn Bleed and Ignite chance into Time Rot chance as well. Time Rot can now stack up to 12 times. Each stack will do void damage over time and increases stun duration by 5%. We have Maul of the Deep. Warpath hits deal more damage against enemies per stack of Time Rot on them, and this is multiplicative. You can get up to 15% more damage per stack of Time Rot. You can get 12 stacks of Time Rot, which means that against a max Time Rotted enemy, 12 stacks on the enemy, you can get 180% more hit damage. That's more than the 150% we were able to get last patch. And then Abyssal Tempest. While spinning, you cast Abyssal Echoes every 5 seconds. This will consume Abyssal Echoes mana cost, but if you're playing Void, this seems like a very interesting skill tree to build around, and it looks like you can get a lot of hit damage and a lot of added void damage. So super excited about that. This would be my third favorite way to go. We're definitely going to be trying it as a Void Knight, and we're definitely going to be trying it, I'm not sure as which, maybe as a Void Knight if we have enough points to go up and down, but I'm definitely trying the Giant Splitter along with the Warrior's Fury together, because those two synergized together seem like they would be really, really powerful. And then later we'll determine how well it still applies to dots. Alright, that's going to be it for this skill tree discussion. I hope you guys give Warpath a try. I hope you like the new tree. It seems, this rework, I really like it. It's very interesting, and I can't wait to play with a lot of the nodes in it. As always, stay safe, travelers, and have a good day.